that easy breaking free from a narcissistic individual. The more you try to pull away, the more they try to reel you back in, the more you second guess yourself, doubt yourself, wonder whether you're the issue, think that this is the person that raised you, this is the friend that you grew up with, this is the person that you married and had children and spent 20 years with. It's very challenging walking away from somebody who we thought was somebody else, and now we recognise that they're not that person, they're actually quite exploitative and manipulative. Breaking free from a narcissist requires strategy. It requires that emotional strength. Narcissistic individuals thrive on dominance and control. They thrive on gaining the attention. They prefer positive, but if they can't get that positive, they will go all out to get that negative, especially if they can twist that then and make you out to be the problem. Cutting a narcissist's access to you is essential. However, it's not always that straightforward. One of the first things to do is educate yourself on the behaviour so you can recognise their tactics, recognise their games, and no longer fall for them. When they're triangulating you to try and provoke jealousy within you, recognise what they're doing. When they're guilt tripping you to try and get you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, recognise the game that they are playing. When they're trying to provoke that reaction from you, when they're insulting you, when they're using the things that matter the most to you to get that reaction from you, recognise what they're doing and no longer give them that reaction. Recognise their gaslighting so you're no longer doubting your reality. Recognise their love bombing when they're trying to win you over. Recognise when they're playing the victim to the situation they created. Awareness of these behaviours helps you resist their attempts to reel you into their games. Once you can recognise their games, it's easier then to cut off their supply. Narcissists rely on your supply to stroke their ego. They rely on your attention, your reactions, your validation. Remove this fuel by refusing to engage in arguments, in flattery or drama. Without supply, their interest in you diminishes because they look for that supply elsewhere. Narcissists prefer that positive attention, but if they can't get it, they're going to look for that negative reaction so that they can play the victim. And it feels good in the moment giving them that reaction. However, it just plays straight into their hands. What narcissists don't like is being ignored. And we can feel like we're turning into a narcissistic individual. You're not doing it to punish or manipulate them. You're doing it to break free from them. Limit your time around them and limit their access to you. Minimalize your interactions with the narcissist as much as possible. Go no contact if you can. If you must communicate for things such as co-parenting, it's a case of grey rock, keeping those communications brief, factual, to the point, to the necessary topics, and don't get drawn into their manipulative games. Avoid any unnecessary communication. Don't give them any emotional reaction. Don't show them any emotion. Be that grey rock. Be boring. Be dull. Narcissists feed off your emotional reactions. That's why they go all out playing their games to get those reactions from you. Whether it's the love bombing so that you're telling them how amazing they are, the flattery so you're complimenting them back, or whether they're baiting you by provoking a negative reaction so that they can make out you're the crazy one, you're the problem. Whether positive or negative, do your best to stay calm, stay neutral, and stay unresponsive, even when they're going all out to provoke you. Recognise the game they're playing, recognise the games they cycle around, so you can sort of think, if I don't respond to this, I know what's coming next. It is that grey rock method where you need to become as dull and as uninteresting as possible to help yourself free yourself from a narcissistic individual. Set firm, healthy boundaries such as emotional, psychological and physical distance. So it's no longer allowing them to provoke your emotions, recognising the game, recognising the emotion and not giving them any reaction. Physical, so that they're no longer in your space, they're no longer in your face, they can no longer get that reaction from you. Establish clear limits within you of behaviour you will and will not tolerate from others and enforce them. When you refuse to engage in late night calls, a narcissist might then play the victim. However, that's your cut-off point. You're no longer interested. They're going to call you awkward and selfish. They're looking to guilt trip you. Recognise the game. When they're coming at you with those personal attacks, they want you to attack them back so that they can take offence. Don't attack back. Recognise the game and leave them to it. When they start trying to guilt trip you, they're placing that false guilt in you so that you change your no into a yes to serve them. Boundaries show you that you're now in control. Narcissists can escalate when they're faced with boundaries, especially if they're not used to them from you. However, when they realise that nothing is getting to you, eventually and unfortunately they move on to an easier source of supply. Seek support and validation. Lean on trusted friends, family members, therapists for that emotional support and understanding, to recognise that you're not alone. Narcissists often go all out to isolate their victims, so rebuilding your support system is key to staying strong. Focus on your healing. While we're focused on the narcissist, we get trapped in that negative mindset, but we're used to being focused on them. So plan for at least 28 days so that you can start setting up that new routine and become disciplined in setting up that new routine where you become more focused on you and your future. It's a learning curve, but redirecting your thoughts, your feelings, your energy onto self-care, personal growth, what you would like out of the future, not what happened in the past. Yes, sometimes we have to mull over what happened in the past to work out and recognise and educate ourselves so that we don't fall for those traps again. However, we also, along with that, have to start engaging in hobbies, practice mindfulness, go all out to nurture our self-esteem, focus on dreams and taking those baby steps of what's going to get us those dreams, that things aren't going to happen overnight. They do unfortunately take time, but with the right steps we can get there. So by focusing on our future, the narcissist has less control and less power over us and our emotions. Losing a narcissistic individual can be kick-started by seeking revenge, recognising that the best way to punish a narcissist is to ignore them, fall silent on them, walk away from them. That's why they do these things to us, because they don't like abandonment, they don't like rejection. And if that's what kick-starts you on the right path, go for it. However, what we recognise is it's not about revenge. It's about reclaiming our peace, reclaiming our identity. By cutting off a narcissist supply, by limiting their access to us, by maintaining our own emotional control, which we perhaps once had and a narcissist manipulated us into losing it. However, once we reclaim it, we can break free and we can thrive again. Anything that helps you lose a narcissistic individual, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon. How to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. A Narcissist Handbook, the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for empowerment and recovery. 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, How to Stay Sane and Break the Chain. And Behind the Mask, The Rise of a Narcissist, which is the first in a 3-part series. If you're interested in any of those, they are available on Amazon. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.